a basketball gift, 4 record-breaking couples, and 2 and counting more for engagements. Stay tuned as we discuss episode 4, season 10 of Love is Blind. All right, welcome back to another episode of Claire here. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm just gonna get into the couples real quick. So we have our couple Victor, and we have Victor and Christine, who's our first couple. I call them the cute couple. We have Amber and Jordan. I call them the lost couple, GPS couple. I don't know where they're at. And then we have Ashley and Alex. I call them the lust couple. I don't know anything about them, but they look good and they wanna smash. I have Chris and Jess. They're the okay couple. This is the older, younger, which to me, 38, 36 is not, you could have been at the same junior high / high school. I don't know. That's considered higher, older, whatever, blah, blah. Anyways, but those are our couples. And I'm just aghast that there's this many. Maybe it's a record break into this one. But so we have Emma and Connor. So Connor ends up leaving our girl Emma for Breezy. And he's very adamant about like, hey, we did what we could. We did what we could here. Emma broke it off with Steven, finance dude. I didn't write it down because he's irrelevant. So after that happened, she ends up telling Mike, and she's like, hey, one of my top, basically number one, rude. One of my top ones ended up where they broke it off, and Mike was like, okay, besides all that, what type of ring do you want? So Michael is locked in. I don't understand, because I'm just like, Michael is locked in, and it makes no sense to me, because I'm just like, now wait a minute. Anyways, but now we have Devontae and Brittany. So Devontae starts opening up a little bit more. He's like, hey, I did have my father pass away at 18. Turns out Devontae, he's something. He didn't really say what he is, but to me, he looks mixed race, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's just adamant about just letting you know that he has that background. And then Brittany saying she has the tingly winglies. I'm glad I don't ever have to say that word again, because I don't even know what that means. Anyway, so next we have is Chris and Jess. They have a proposal, and I think it's really sweet. I feel like they're like I said, like the previous episode, I feel like they're gonna make really good companions to each other. They just give me, they're gonna be that couple that's just like they're rich aunt and uncle, just traveling the world and just making money. Like it just gives you that. The only thing, like I said, I'm just a little apprehensive about Chris is 32, but he's 32 men's. Like Chris is 32 men's. He's not 32 women, so I'm a little nervous about that. Anyways, but yeah, Connor and Breezy. So Connor ends up proposing to Breezy. I gotta give Connor this. Connor know what he want. He said, hey, Emma, it's not gonna work out. Oh, well, all right, Breezy, will you take me, Connor? Like, will you take me, Connor? So that's gonna be our 5th couple. I thought it was really dope that he didn't waste any time, because a lot of these people, like Cavan, like to sit there and instruct, like do too, because it's the most information, most energy two women have ever had for him. Connor's just like, hey, I really like you, but I need to go to Breezy, and I feel like they're gonna make it. I feel like they're gonna make it the long run. I feel like like I said, they're 2 for 2. I feel like Breezy can really give it to him. I have on here with Cavan and Kia. So they end up exchanging gifts. This needs to answer my question. I was like, how are y'all paying for this? Who's paying for this? Who's paying for all these? And basically what ends up happening is that she gives him a watch, a very expensive watch at that. I'm just like, we giving out watches? Okay, we giving out watches, okay. And you know what he gives her? A basketball. She gives him probably a $300 watch, and he gives her a basketball, because she used to work at basketball players. You have to know, if you get me a basketball after I give you a $300 watch, your head's going to be the basketball. And I'm going to go like this. All right? I might dunk on you. I don't know. I'm 5'10". I don't know. But your head will be the basketball. Like, it just shows that Cavan is not here. He's not locked in. And I'm praying that Kia leaves him, because I'm coming from, I'm hoping that Kia leaves him, because Kia leaves as well, because there's something so radical about the fact that he has 2 beautiful women fighting for him, and he's not even fighting for Kevin. Is Kevin here? Kevin? Is he here? He's not. Anyways, so my thing on here too is just that Kevin is like, oh, Kia and Tyler are too or two people who's pulling me in both directions. I was like, let me tell you a little secret about loving a person, right? Just from my previous experience, like, you need to understand that if you can wake up and know that you'll never see, hear, or feel this person again, you don't really like them. Because if you're still trying to go back and forth, like, I don't know which one, it should be where you can't even fathom not hearing this person's voice, not hearing from them, not getting contact from them. And that tells me you love this person or not. You over here going back and forth. You don't know about Kia, there's Kia or Tyler. You don't love neither. You don't even love Kevin. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, Brittany and Devontae. They end up getting engaged. I have on here not enough info. All I have is that Brittany bought a ring, bought a wedding dress. Red flag, red flag. So I don't know. I personally like there's something so crazy about the fact that a lot of these couples, they're getting engaged, and I'm just like, wait, I missed that. Like it was either it was boring because I won't come to Florida. Either it was boring or like me personally, I don't get it. I don't get it personally. Anyways, moving on. So I have on here Emma and Mike. So now that Emma can focus on Mike, the one who I said from episode 1, we're in episode 4, who she should have been with. Now she can focus on him. Basically, she's saying how, they started sharing letters. And me personally, I am bringing this with you on the plane. Like, is this in the check bag? Like, I don't know. Like, these are letters that she had from her house. And I'm just like, how do you have these things ready? So anyways, so they exchange letters, and Mike is emotional, which, like I said, like, Mike's emotional IQ is amazing. Like, we don't, like I said, I don't know, whatever rumors you're trying to start, I don't care, but I really like Mike. And excuse me, in this way, so they bring up the kids conversation again, because Micah said, I'm locked in, but, with the kids conversation, I need to have an answer. And in this aspect, I get it. Like, to me, especially like we're not our parents. We're cutting the cord early, because there's certain couples where they just got married just because they needed to get married, and they didn't care that the other person didn't want kids, and they go on to divorce or cheat and have a kid outside, blah, blah, blah. Like, millennials, I can say this is millennials make up the majority of the cast, and now Gen Z, half and half. But millennials are very forthright. We're just like, hey, we've been lied to by everybody, including I can't say that. We've been lied to by everybody. We're not gonna lie to ourselves. I don't know how a relationship is supposed to work if you don't want any kids. And I love that Mike sticks to his guns on that. So Kavan is meeting up with Tyler, and and me personally, I just do not like the fact that he's getting screen time, because Kavan should have been a character that we didn't even care about, because he's not here for the right reasons. I feel like this is the most 2 women have ever fought for him in his life, that he's kind of just stretching it out. So anyway, so he's meeting up with Tyler, and I'll ask that question later about like, what time are they meeting up with these people at? I don't know. But so Kavan's waiting, and Tyler is down the other side, and I thought she was just being dramatic, because remember, she wants to do a redo, and I wanted to lament on this earlier, was that when Kia and Kavan were trading gifts, Tyler was given the title of girlfriend, because Kavan was like, oh, I'm gonna make you my girlfriend, or blah blah, and then he goes around and gives her a gift. So me person, like anthropological, basically, and whatever, how the events happened, I still am aghast that she's even hanging around for this. To me, if we buying gifts, I remember, I'm not gonna make it about me, but I'm just saying, in the past, when I was younger, I remember I was dating a dude for a minute, and he bought a gift for somebody else. After we broke up, he bought a gift for somebody else. He never bought me a gift. You have to understand, when he tried to come crawling back, I'm saved now, but when he came crawling back, I made him regret his decision. But to me, when it comes to gifts, like, you need to understand, that means you're putting it's not even about the price. You could have gave her a flower. You're giving out gifts, and yet you have a girlfriend. Like, that isn't, like, the math's not mathing. The math's not mathing at all. Like, that's when I was just kind of like, you deserve your day. That's how people nicely say it. I was like, you know what? You deserve your day. You deserve your day. Okay. But overall review on this episode, finally some momentum. Like we're starting to build up because baby, I've been snooze at my way through this season. What's going on, Ohio? What's going on up there? Overall with Connor going to Breezy, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I love the fact that he did it so quickly, Cavan. And he didn't waste any time. I really love that. I really feel like they're going to be okay. Connor said a comment about how Breezy talks a lot. And I'm just like, she's only going to talk more in person. Because at least when it's through the wall, you got to kind of wait. I don't know if he's ready for that. But I really feel like they're a good match. And then with Brittany and Devontae, the problem is that I don't feel anything from them. The only thing I can say they do have commonality, turns out Brittany is Colombian and black, and then Devontae is black and white. So, they have the fact that they're both mixed race, so they can bond over that. And, like with the identity issues that come with that. So I can definitely understand. Cavan, I don't know. Like y'all see my disdain for him. I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I do have a disdain for him because I don't get it. I don't get the hype. I have on here 2 for but Tyler not being on the other side. I would have left beforehand, so there wouldn't have even been a redo. I would have just left then, So me personally, there's something like there's something so crazy about how we will lie to ourselves and thoroughly lie to ourselves. Like Tyler knew she was done the moment he said, hey, I have my mom who, I'm pretty much her caretaker. She was done since then. She dragged it. You feel me? And with Kia, I feel like with her giving a wash, it's so insane. We spend our lives giving the wrong people the love. And then when you meet the right person, you don't have nothing left. Let me say that again. We have a tendency to spend our lives. Okay, you get it. But someone like Kia deserves a grown man. Like I can see her, what's funny is that I see her and I was like, I can see her as a basketball wife, not wife to Cavan, like she's so full of life. And like, I felt so full of life. And I feel like once Cavan gets his situation with his mom, just, maybe a possible caretaker or just a better way of things, I feel like he's gonna and works through those issues. I feel like he can. I feel like he can. I feel like he can. I believe in Cavan, but there's just something so crazy about how he dragged it, and then to get somebody a gift, and then to say you're somebody's girlfriend. Like you have to understand with women, we're all about titles. We're all about being special. So for you to come through and be like, oh, I'm good with this or blah blah, we already mad. Brittany and Devontae's. I have on here Brittany Devontae. Just one more thing I want to talk about. I'm scared that. Why am I scared? I don't know these people. I'm scared that there is going to be a time when it's time to be around each other in the real world. And I don't know how that's going to go for them because I don't feel like they have a lot of stuff in common besides them both being mixed race. I don't feel it. I don't feel the chemistry. I don't feel it at all. And then Emma and Mike with the exchanging of the letters. Let me tell you something real quick. I would only do that in person. That's just me. That don't have to be you, but that's just me. Like I would only do something like that in person. Like I want to see your reaction because you could be reading the letters you're not even paying attention. Like you're not even paying attention to the letter. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm weird, but I can't imagine sending personal letters like that and giving it to you. Also, is that in a check bag? I don't know, but I can imagine it. But my thing too with Mike is just that I hope he doesn't feel like he's second choice. He was never second choice. He was just he wasn't second choice. He was it was a tie. I feel like she really had some feelings for Connor, but I feel like she has some feelings for Connor, but I don't ever get that. I didn't get that instant, from episode 1. I was like, oh, Mike is your person. What's wrong? I was like, what's wrong? And then they bring up the child thing again. And like I said, having a child, as I spoke before, it's not a decision you take lightly. It's not something that you want to sway. I wouldn't want her to resent him and be like, okay, you're the one who told me to get, it's a lifestyle change. You can't just spend money on yourself. I have one here too that Emma's saying, oh, I'm too selfish. And he's thinking that he can love her through the selfish. It's like, listen, when somebody has that level of saying, I'm selfish, I need you to believe them. I need you to believe them quickly. You can't sway that. Okay, you can't sway that. But don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here. Devontae's too short, even though he stands on top of Brittany's head, and yet more engagement. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to yet another episode of Claire Hair. Thank you guys for joining me today. We are going to be speaking about episode 5. First things first. Why do I feel like there's so many engaged couples this season? Because they're trying to up their chances. Last season, nobody stayed married. Not nobody stayed married. Like no one barely made it to the altar. Like they barely made it to the altar. So I don't know if they're up to something. I don't know. They might be up to something, but I'm just like, what is going on? Why do I feel like, anyways, like I was saying. So I'm going to go into our current couples, Victor and Christine, Amber and Jordan, Alex and Ashley, Chris and Jess, Connor and Breezy, Devontae and Brittany. So we're going to start off with Tyler leaving Cavan. So she ends up speaking. She's like, hey, like, it just was not enough. I feel like he was not forthright with his feelings, and I'm just gonna focus on me and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay. I'm in the corner. I'm just like, okay. And so they ended up doing that, and then also as well, Devontae and Brittany finally meet up, and she has to reach up, and she's like, oh, I thought he would be shorter than that. I thought he'd be taller than that. And then she was like, oh, I guess we all get fat. And my thing is couple of things, wedding dress. Couple of things. First things first. I need every human out there to apologize to tall women everywhere. We are more understanding of height than short women. Short women have a zero tolerance for height. Okay? I'm 5'10", and I've dated as short as 5'7". Okay? If you got the swag, you financially stable, because I am expensive. You financially stable, you have the swag, you have the confidence. Oh yeah, we definitely going on a date, all right? Short women are different. They're built different, but they always get the giantess person, so I can't even sweat their game. But short women they're like, I can say, to me, it looks like Devontae is exactly 6 feet tall. He looks exactly 6 feet tall. She has to reach her arms up. I'm 5'10", and most of the men I've dated have been about 5'7", 6'1", between 5'7" and 6'1", and I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10" inches. And I can, you know where I'm coming from? I am more reasonable than this girl who, I think she's 5'0". I don't even think she's 5 feet. And she's like, this 6 foot man is too short. What? He is 6 feet tall. What did you want him to do? There's no more inches in the back. Like, I don't know what you want him to do. What is going on? Anyways, so she tells him that we're all gonna get fat one day out. And my thing is like with Brittany, I was just like, with all due respect, little mama, like, I don't like the fact that she's one saying that Devontae is big. And then my thing too is just like, why is it the first thing you say? Like, to me, if I found out I was dating somebody I saw, I'm like, oh, okay. And I move on. It's nothing I would ever say out loud. And then my thing too is like, you can always lose weight. You cannot lose attitude. So anyway, so Emma and Mike, so there is a statement of love and they're engaged, and I hate it. Now I know the previous episodes I was like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for them to be one getter and all that, blah, blah. But me personally, like, it's just the fact that Mike is adamant about swaying her about the kids thing. To me, the kids thing is a big issue, especially if you, like I said, like, they do have numbers that, you know, overall more and more men are more invested. I don't like that word. More and more men are more active in their child's life. Yay, the children, yay. But that means that he really wants to be a part of the child rearing. So if you're just like, oh, well, I'll do it for you, but I'm going to be checked out, he's going to be very upset with you. He's going to be very, very upset with you. So me personally, excuse me, I've been speaking for an hour and a half. I got to forgive me on that one. Me personally, it's just me personally. There's just something so scary about the fact that they could fall in love for real, for real. Because right now, I think they have you have feelings for them, you have affections for them, but I wouldn't say full love, no. But they're engaged, and so now we have Kevin, and he's just like, oh, I don't want Kia to feel like I'm choosing her because Tyler is gone. I was like, Kevin, you're not even choosing Kevin. Relax, relax. We're not here for you. So anyway, so Kevin is like, Kia is one of one. I was like, okay, Beyonce troll. Okay, Beyonce. He quoting Beyonce. I was like, oh, wait a minute. One of one, one of one. I was like, okay. And so they're basically speaking. Kia wore the cutest outfit, that silver top, chainmail top, adorable. Anyway, so Kevin's like, "Hey, I don't want you to feel like you're number two, or blah blah." And so Kia goes into this whole speech. You're gonna be a good husband one day. I was like, ooh. Whenever somebody said you're gonna be a good husband one day, that means that no. So that means no. Anyways, so Kia breaks up with him, and she's just like, I got to choose myself because I feel like you're not in a position to be in a relationship with anybody. So he goes away, blah, blah. She comes back. I choose myself. I always choose myself. I was like, as you should. We need to choose ourselves because once I was like, when it comes to being in a marriage, when it comes to being a mother, those two M's, we lose ourselves automatically because who else is going to do it? All right. Now we do have more and more men helping out, basically doing what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. But at the end of the day, you are the default parent and you're responsible. Unfortunately, society is responsible. You are responsible for making sure everything happens within the marriage. You're remembering people's birthdays, you're remembering this, remembering that. So like in a way, yeah, we're still responsible. Okay. Anyway, so next thing is Emma and Mike. So they meet in a blue dress. First of all, who told Emma that she's a winter? Because winters look great in blues. Winters look good in blues. Summers look good in red and orange. Like she ate that blue. Like blue and purple is for winter. Red and orange is for summers. So that blue is chef's kiss on her. Like whoever said that, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. I have on here. Oh, excuse me, I'm talking so fast. I have on here too that Mike just added, Mike is just being very respectful about him wanting kids, and they end up meeting, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful." Like he didn't even notice like her arm or blah blah. Which to me, like honestly, it just looks like a really cool tattoo. I don't even know. It's like Emma is just such a bright light, and then Mike is such a soft and like spoken, very reserved, really cool. I really like him for her. I really like him for her. The kids thing is big, and she has further to go. Now, mind you, she's only 27. I know he's in his, I don't know what age he's supposed to be, but she's only 27. So, she still has like about 8 years before people start, before the doctors start saying, hey, but me personally, there's something so crazy about, there's something so crazy about how, there's something so crazy about how she said yes to him, even though she knows he wants kids. Because me, if he would have proposed to me, I'd have been like, thank you, but actually, no. Like, I can't take you from someone who it has to be heck yeah when it comes to having kids. It can't be like, you know what? I'm not doing anything on Saturday. Like, it has to be a heck yeah. It has to be a heck yeah when it comes to having kids. Because what ends up happening, and I've seen this time and time again, what ends up happening is that you will sit there and see one side of the couple is leaning more towards it and then ends up uneven. But anyways, so we have a record-breaking 7 couples. Let me speak to them again. We have Victoria and we have Victor and Christine, Amber and Jordan, Alex and Ashley, Chris and Jess, Connor and Breezy, Devontae and Brittany. And now we have a record-breaking 7 couples, Emma and Mike. The vacation is in Malibu/Mexico. So Vic and Christine went to Malibu. I would have to research on Reddit to see why did they go to Malibu. I was like, maybe her or him didn't have their passport. But I mean, it can't be that they didn't want to fly because you still had to fly from, you still have to fly in from Colorado. So unless they drove, I have a fear of flights. I don't know, but that part was kind of sketchy because the iconic Mexico vacation is is a Love is Blind staple. Anyways, I have everybody in yes or no categories. So I have yes, Victor and Christine, Emma and Mike, Chris and Jess. No, Amber and Jordan, Devontae and Brittany. Maybe Ashley and Onyx, Ashley and Alex, and then Connor and Breezy. And the reason why I have them in these perspective categories, I'll explain further. The reason I have them in these perspective categories is, to me, I feel like Victor and Christine, they're an automatic yes, because I feel like, they're both in the faith. Like, I feel like that's going to be a good, that, like I said, that's the perfect foundation to start a relationship and maintain a relationship, is to have a faith. Because like I said, like, getting married is a covenant. You can't just, like you just can't be like, okay, but I want to get married because I wanted a cute party. I was like, just throw yourself a party. Like, this is a covenant. This is a covenant before God. So it's really dope to see that they're in the faith with it. And then with Amber and Jordan, I have them as no. And the reason why is because, like, this kid, her daughter is going to set the temperature for whether or not this relationship is going to last long. And my thing is just that, I don't know if you met kids, especially at 7. They're little boogers. I like how they say that. That's the nice way to say it. They're little boogers at that age. So imagine throwing in a stepdad they know nothing of. And I'm pretty sure the daughter's her baby daddy is still active in the kid's life. So I don't know how well it's gonna happen, because it's gonna be very easy. I don't like this. I'm gonna go to my daddy's house till he leaves. And it's just. Once again, I always stand by when I say, I don't know why they keep having people who have kids on the show. It should be, if you have children, you are not on the show. Maybe they can, like I said, Love is Blind parents, or Love is single, Love is stepdad, stepmom, Love is like, I don't know what I need to do, but stop putting them on the show, because it's going to be a no every single time. And even if you bond with a child, you can bond with an adult, but a child, like kids are very honest. They're very honest, and every child wants their parents to stay together. So you're already going to come out as an enemy. So that's why they know. Coming in number 3, Ashley and Alex, good looking. When he was saying, like, when they met, he was just like, oh, those eyes, that eye contact. I'm just crazy with that. That's lust. All right. That's lust. Like, when they met up, it was mostly sex. I had to literally walk out the room. I was like, I need for y'all to wrap this up. Because I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. It wasn't like a Victor and Christine, like, okay, that's sweet, but let me look away because that's y'all business. Ashley and Alex, if the camera wasn't there. But camera wasn't there. And like I said, we don't know much about this couple. It's just that they're very good looking, good hair. But I don't have anything on them. And I see them saying no at the altar, because I feel like Alex is going to start revealing why he's a soccer player for real. The soccer player stigma is real, right? I feel like he's going to start revealing that soon. And then I just don't feel like they have anything in common. Maybe it's just how it's edited, but I don't feel like they have anything in common. Coming at number 4, Chris and Jess. I like them together. I have them in Chris and Jess. I have them in yes, but I kind of want to put them in my bracket of maybe, because there is something so, I'm trying to think how to describe it. Like, there's something so, I want to put it into words without it sounding mean, but there's something about the fact that he's younger just makes me pause. It makes me pause. Like, there's something about it that just makes me pause about him being younger, because of the fact that he has a little bit of a playboy to him. And with him saying he doesn't want to have kids, like, she's serious about it. Like, when women say they don't want to have kids, I believe them. When men say it, it's kind of like, wait till your boys start having kids. Let's see what happens. Let's see how you feel after that. But I have on here Connor and Breezy. I have Connor and Breezy under. It can go either way. She does talk a lot like me. Devontae and Brittany have them as under no. She just called a 6-foot man short, and I don't think it's gonna last till then. And then Mike, I have them either way. That kid, you can't just We can't, it's not even an elephant in the room. We're outside. We're in the safari. We're not even in a room. This is very important. Do you want kids or not? You're not the person who's going to sway them. Every person I know, especially my fellow millennials, every person I know, they came to the decision whether or not they want to be a parent or not. They came to that decision. It wasn't like, you got me. Like, no, it was, they came to the decision after spending this amount of time of thinking about it or spending that amount of time of thinking about it. But don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here. Connor is not as hot as Chris, according to Breezy. Stay tuned as all the couples meet each other in Mexico. All right. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Claire. We are on episode 6. I was like, we're on episode 6 finally. So basically, I was like, we're on episode 6 finally, and thank you guys for sticking with me because I had to film this and edit it all in time for the new episodes to be released on Wednesday, and you guys watched the video episodes too fast, so I had to talk fast. Anyways, but I'm gonna be doing a 2-minute synopsis of what happened on each one, and then I will go ahead and do like my 1-minute review at the end. Don't forget to show love to my shorts channel. So we're gonna go right into Vic and Christina. I'm gonna have them at the beginning of this episode because I don't want to lose them in between because they're irrelevant. What's going on? What's happening? We don't know. We don't know. Like, they're in Malibu, and I'm just like, I really hope they expound on that during the reunion or via Reddit because to me, does that mean that y'all know that it wasn't gonna work out, so y'all don't want to spend the money? But I think I don't know, maybe it's a school thing. The only thing I can think is that since I'm going to think positive thoughts. I'm going to think positive thoughts. That's not a word. I'm going to think positive thoughts and think that it's because he's a professor and he can't be gone that long. So Love is Blind was already 2 or 3 weeks, so he can't spend another 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm assuming it's a PTO issue because it's not making any sense. Anyways, but turns out like in the preview for the part 2 episodes being released today, Christine asked him, "Are you okay with the mother of your child being white?" And I'm just like, clearly he is. Yeah, you've been that color for a while now, but I guess they gotta have some type of drama, to get views. Okay, next one is Amber and Jordan. I have them down as weird couple because I don't know anything about them. Amber, like I said, like I don't know if she's present with us. I don't know if it's like this is her personality because I've met some people like their personality is literally that. So I don't want to judge. I'm not judging, but like something about her, like I don't know, and with her dating a particular type for Jordan, basically Jordan got a little meat to him, but that means he can cook. Okay, period. But anyways, but in the preview for them, it shows that, with a child, with him, like it shows him in the preview for like the part 2, whatever, because like while they're in Mexico, it's just a bunch of kissing and all that. I don't need to see all that. Gross. Gross. But no, literally, it was just unnecessary. I was like, damn, like, do they know the camera's right there? Or do they know the camera's right there? I don't know. But it did not move the plot along at all. I have on here too that he was saying in the preview for the newer episodes is like they're back to society, back to life, back to reality, right? And so he's like, oh, I didn't have to be a full-time stepfather. I was like, yeah, that's a funny thing about being a parent. It's not part-time. It's not a part-time position. Like it's not a part-time position. It's a full, I can say from my experience of babysitting, I realized there's no PTO. You can't put no PTO in for being a parent. So yeah. So I was like, so yeah. So I think that was like a role reckoning. And my thing too is just that you have to also fall in love with Amber as a mother as well. Because being who you are as a partner, lover, is different from who you are as a parent, because I'm assuming it's just a different mindset, because you think it's funny, but now my daughter, like, coming from now my daughter needs to have this completed or not. So yeah. Next one is the Lust couple, Ashley and Alex. So I have on here Lust couple. Anyways, but basically on here, Alex reveals to Brittany that she's more his type at the pool party when they meet, because he's like, hey, My particular type is dark features. I was like, you talking about black? You talking about black? You talking about black? Or you talking about black adjacent? Okay, Latina. Okay, so he's basically saying that she would be his type, and I'm just like, I could tell because I feel like he's trying to let the lust build. He is not attracted to Ashley, and Ashley is a Barbie doll, so I can tell he do not like her like that. But my thing too is just that it's one thing to sit here and tell me that it's one thing to sit here and tell me, hey, to my face, hey, I don't really find you attractive like that. You're not really my type that I would go to. But you're telling a stranger and the person has exactly the features you want. I'm thinking you're advertising. Okay. And then after the pool party, Ashley pulls him to the side and said, hey, was anything said? I saw you talking with the girls. Is anything said? He said, oh, no, we can roll the footage if you know that. I was like, sir, you didn't answer the question. You know, women, we're natural judges, like, and attorneys. I was like, I'm sorry. I asked you, did anything happen? And you're just like, oh, we can roll the footage. I was like, no. I don't need to see it in 4K. I need to know what was said. Because if somebody sat there and said, oh, yeah, I'm used to somebody with lighter features who has like lighter eyes, loose curl hair, Rihanna, you know, I'm calling you Zendaya. I am not either of those beautiful women, okay? All right, and I need you to know that. I need you to know I'm not even close. So, which, like I said, I'm beautiful as well. Don't come in these comments. I was like, I'm stating the fact they're all beautiful women, including myself. But I don't like the fact that he lamented on that with somebody who clearly has those features. I'm thinking you trying to advertise, okay? Number 4, Chris and Jess. So just in the preview, it just shows that just adamant about just telling Chris, like, hey, like, once I meet your family, like, I don't want them to feel like I'm kidnapping you and keeping you away from being able to have kids. So are you sure? Are you sure that you don't want any kids? Because I'm dead set on it, which I can see that because no offense, but when it comes to these, my hijo, my son, mi hijo, no. You know, coming from like some of these moms who are mi hijo moms, like there's something that's they're already mad at you because you're taking their man. Parentheses. Ugh. You're taking their man. So you taking him from being able to have kids, like as an older woman, they're already going to be like, oh my, I'm just like, we're only 5 years apart. I think he's 33. I thought he was 32, but they're only like 6 years apart. Like, that's nothing. Like, it's different if she was, no offense, Demi and Ashton Kutcher. You feel me? Then it'd be like, okay. But me personally, like, it's not that big of a deal, but no, I feel like they get along well with each other. Like I said, they give very much, they're really good companions. I really like them together. Conversation flows. He's very mature for his age. And I like them together. Once again, Chris is very young and very good looking and very free spirited. You know, they had a Never Have I Ever, which I'm just like, this game will always end up with somebody in your business. Never have I ever been in, had an extra person in the house who was going to help us with the project. And he was the only person who put his hand up and said, oh, I have. And I was like, oh, I can tell. Okay, I can tell. Not judging, but I'm just letting you know, I can tell he definitely seems like the type that, you know, would have that freedom there. So now we have Connor and Breezy. I did start off saying they were together, but now Breezy's like, oh yeah, Mike and Connor look the same. I was just like, I would be mad if somebody sat there and said I look like somebody else when you're my partner. Like, what you trying to say? Okay, because I'm one of one, right, Kivan? Anyways, so they separate boys and girls. So Mike is Connor's telling the other people, saying like, yeah, I like Breezy just does not shut up, but she lets me be myself. You know, coming from. So like he was very honest about that. And so Breezy is starting trouble for no reason because Chris is finer than Connor. All right. Respectfully. And she was just like, I just thought I would have more in-depth conversations with people there. I just feel like in the pods we bonded, and like now it's on the outside. I was like, first things first, we are not the same people we were in jail. No offense. It is jail in a way. Okay. You have to call people to get or contact with another person, and it's restricted. You can't do it all day. Like, it's jail. Okay, it's a nice jail. There's food there. Okay, there's froyo there, but it's jail. Okay, it is. But we're not the same people. Same thing. Like, she's gonna be that person that when the job is done, she's mad her coworkers move on. I was like, I have coworkers that I worked with for like years on years. We talk to each other every day. I don't hear nothing from them now. And it's just part of the process. I keep my favorites, but it's part of the process. Yeah, I've lost more I've lost more coworkers than I've gained friends from it. And I just pick my favorites from each job, and then I move on. Like, she's definitely starting trouble, and then she ends up talking to Chris, and that pisses Connor off because she's like, yeah, oh hi, that fake little thing. She liked this man. Anyways, so Devontae and Brittany, her short man, 6 feet tall. Anyways, so Brittany doesn't want to have relations until she doesn't want to have relations until they get to the marriage chapter, to the arts altar, and so Devontae's starting to withdraw. And at the party, he said something that upset her, so she went upstairs, and of course, like the wolf in sheep clothing, Alex is. He's like, "What's wrong? What's ever the matter?" Came up there and asked her, like, how are things going, blah, blah, and they start talking about, and she starts telling us how fat and short Devontae is, and she does not hold back on telling us just how fat and short Devontae is. And my thing was just like, no offense, little mama, like, you beautiful, but let's call a spade a spade. Don't because if he sat there and said you too short, or he sat there and said you too thick, or you would have gotten into your feelings about it. You would have been into this. But anyways, now the one thing I can say that I don't like is I don't like the fact that Devontae is purposely withdrawing now, because he's like, okay, well, she doesn't want to have. He's dealing with that spirit of rejection, where he doesn't want to have it. He doesn't like the fact that she didn't want to have relations. And now all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I want to have relations. What's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I'll wake up. Because she'll wake up and she'll want to be with him. And he's just like, oh, sometimes I wake up early in the morning. I just want time to myself. BS. I've dated introverts before. Once you're their person, they want you around at all times. They might not speak, but be in the same room. Yes, this man is avoiding you. Okay. He's avoiding you. He's avoiding you like I avoid a common cold during flu season. Stop playing, girl. Stop playing. He don't like you, girl. Not anymore. But yeah, he was talking about having a nothing box. I was like, sir, please do not denigrate the male species like that. You do not have a nothing box. You feel nothing for her. So that's their relationship. So we have Emma and Mike. I really feel like Emma and Mike are it. They're in game, as you young kids like to say, because when Emma saw Connor, it was like a brief. It was like the hug was very Churchill. Is that a word? Churchill, not Churchill, Winston Churchill. Churchill. Like it was very respectful. It was very respectful. It was just like, hey, Mary, make eye contact. Hey. Coming from like a bit, like it was really, really. I was very proud. I was very proud. It was very sweet. It gave me, it was very sweet. It definitely gave me like, oh, I liked it. It was very respectful. I felt like, okay. I felt like it was very respectful, and I don't feel like she was disrespecting him at all, and so Emma's minding her business, being cute, and so Connor comes over because he's getting mad that Breezy is, oh, hi! Girl, you saw him. This is a private party. What you talking about? You didn't see her, little mama? This is a private party. You know who this is. What are you talking about? Anyways, so basically afterwards, so basically everywhere. Oh yeah, they also go on a bike ride in the air. Like, I don't know why I keep playing with God like that. I don't like that. They go on a bike ride in the air. I was like, no, wait a minute. In the air, all it's holding on to you is one little zip line is the only thing that's holding on to you in the air. Anyways, but yeah, I really feel like this was a very healthy relationship. I feel like they moved on. I really like this. I really like this episode. I like how they moved it along, because in Mexico we don't need to see them kissing and making out and all that. I promise you, it's not adding. I never was like, you know what? I needed to see you tongue that person down. That was great. I don't need to see it. Thank you. Okay, so final thoughts overall on the first season. First of all, where is Vic and Christine? Why are you not in Mexico? Tell me why you're not in Mexico. But overall, I feel like 2 out of 7 of the couples will get married. I feel like Chris and Jess will get married, and Vic and Christine will get married. Everybody else is no. I was like in between the last season. Everybody else is no, and it's because they're just assorted. We have Amber and Jordan. She got that baby. Ashley and Alex, lust couple. Plus, he just said he don't like Barbie. He said he don't like Barbies. We got Connor and Bree. Bree like Chris, but Chris is in love with Jess. We have Devontae and Brittany. He's too short. And then we have Emma and Mike. He want a baby. So it's just like, tell me I'm right, but I would be surprised if my draft, what is this, fantasy casting? I would be surprised if I'm incorrect. If I'm incorrect, I'll come and apologize. But I know I'm not right. I feel like I know I'm not wrong. I feel like 2 out of 7 couples will get married, but don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.